That's what made all this quite funny, actually. Because when the police came out here the last time, for the last time, when was the last time? Oh, they did come out again one more time. Somebody falsely accused me of starting a fire out here. Anyway, so so the second time the police came out here, and it was two younger officers, and the one was like saying, "Oh, are you know are you allowed to be here, or you have permission?" Didn't even ask me if I had permission or allowed to be here or anything. And he said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Well, I talked to your sergeant. And he said it was fine that I stay here." And he said, "Well, let me go check on that." And he goes and checks. And he said, "Well, that's right." And then he says, after that, I had to think again. It's been a while since it happened. Anyway, so then he said to me, he goes, um, "Well, I'll have to call the owner of the property, make sure that you can stay here." I said, "Well, you're not the owner of the property." And I said, "I'm sure he wouldn't have any problem with me staying here." And uh, he says, "Well, if I was the owner of this property, I wouldn't want you on my property." So he said, "I wouldn't want you on my property." And so, thank God he wasn't the owner of the property. The owner of the property sided in favor of me and not the police, and said that I could stay here. So, again, gave me permission to stay here. And then when they came back over, because he said that comes back over and he's like, "Well, you're gonna have to pack it up now." He says, "You're gonna have to pack it up now." And I said, "Well, why is that?" He says, "Well, uh, he just decided upon himself to try and make me leave, not without the owner's permission, or not without any the knowledge of the property owner or anything else. He just decided to have me removed or tell me to get out of here without first contacting him." And I said, "Okay, well, if that's the way you want it, that's the way you want to have it, then I'll call him myself." And I did, and I knew the name and who he was and where to contact him because I'd already looked it up. And so, in case there was any problems with me staying here, because I already knew I might have problems. And so, even though I wasn't doing anything wrong or anything else, so he then left, turned around and left, and I called the property owner myself, and I asked him. I said, you know, I told him my situation, and he said, "Oh yeah, I know who you are. You're the guy with the tent down there." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I thought that was you, the owner that came up here in that red truck a couple of times. I figured, you were probably the owners of the property." And he says, "Yes," and that was us. And he didn't have a problem with me to be there then. He didn't even try and stop me from being there or anything. Didn't come up to me or talk to me or anything. Didn't want me to leave or say anything about leaving, or didn't call the police on me or tell me to leave, or that I was trespassing or anything like that. And so he was very nice to me on the phone, and that was pretty much it for the police, because once I did that, then I had his permission to be here. Then they came back and tried to get the phone number from me to call him, because I said, because they said, "Oh, we'll get the phone number." I said, "All right." I said, "Yeah, well, I already know who he is, and I have it already. So I'll call and talk to him myself." And so, which is what I did. And he comes back to me. He goes, "Oh, do you have the phone number? Do you know his phone number?" After I talked to him and I said I had his permission, he goes, "Well, do you have his phone number?" I said, "Well, I thought you said you could get his phone number. I thought you knew so much." I said, "You know what? You can just go ahead and get out of here." I told them, "Get out of here. Get the hell out of here." And they turned around and walked away. Haven't seen him since. But this is what they do. They lie to people, try and cause trouble for people for no reason. Stirring up trouble. Now, that's not. We don't need police. We don't need police that are like that. We don't need police that are policing our community, stirring up problems and trouble. But they do. These protests, we know they do. And then these things that are going on right now, we know they do. They stir up trouble and they stir up problems for people. Purposely trying to stir up trouble. To get attention, I guess. What else? But it's always negative attention. That's what they're going to get from it. And, the U.S. assholes in this country continue to sit back and do absolutely nothing about it. Change the rules, change the laws, change the way that things are done, or run. Because, in Mexico, anyone an officer would have come up in here and did that to anyone in Mexico. All right, they'd lose their job on the spot immediately, because they don't tolerate that kind of disrespect of citizens like they do in this country. They tolerate it, and it's intolerable. It's absolutely intolerable, and don't take it. Don't take it. Many of them. Because they have no right. And it's not their fucking property. And and call the property owner and find out and get permission. And if he says, well, I'd rather you leave, then leave. But call him yourself and get permission. That's what I did. And and there's not a damn thing you can do about it now. So get the fuck out of here. So, like I say, they obviously came over here to do nothing but cause trouble and stir up trouble and problems for me for no reason. Yeah, and so it just goes to show you, that's the way they are, and they're not honest. They're very dishonest people, because he lied to me, lied to my face from the very beginning, from the very start. Like he had the authority to remove me, and he didn't. Goodbye.